Hey everybody, one that always bored, never boring. As subscribers to the channel may be aware, I am currently going through the process of restoring a copy of HeroQuest. And in addition to the base game, I also have the expansions Kellar's Keep and Return of the Witchlord. In today's video, I thought I would go through the contents of Kellar's Keep, and to make it a little bit more than just an unboxing of a really old expansion, I thought I would talk briefly about what you should be looking for if you're purchasing a copy of this on eBay, and any common faults to look out for. I will also briefly be touching on the difference between the European edition and the American edition. First of all, it is worth noting I do not have the box for this expansion, and this is pretty common in Europe because the expansion came in a flimsy tuck box. And it was quite common for people to open that expansion, take the contents out and add them to their core box. It was slightly different in America. The expansion came in a nice box, and it's probably more likely that you'll be able to find copies with the box. Having said that, finding complete unpunched copies of Kellar's Keep is not that uncommon if you are prepared to pay a premium. And of course, those are still in the original boxes. I'm not personally worried about boxes because Felder make some really nice boxes for storing these expansions, and I will be picking those up and showing them on the channel at some point, and they are a much better way to store your expansion than a flimsy tuck box is. However, I believe you can only get Felder inserts for the European edition. I cannot say for certain that they will be compatible with the American edition. With that out of the way, obviously one of the big draws of this expansion is the new quest book, the quest for Kellar's Keep. It's a really exciting quest with a really good narrative. The Emperor and his men are trapped. You have to sneak into Kellar's Keep, find a back way to get to the Emperor and rescue him and get him out of dodge. It's really, really good fun. And it focuses on green skin enemies, so this expansion comes with more of the green enemies from the core set, which I will be showing you in a moment. As with the quest book from the core game, the European quest book is different to the American quest book, and that is because the American rule set is different. So while the narrative is the same and all the beats are the same, the quest layouts are slightly different. Furthermore, the format of the American quest book is different, and on the back of the quest book for the American edition, there are some cards that you are supposed to cut out that will give you extra magical scrolls and potions and that sort of thing. Those cards are not present in the European edition at all, although there are places online like Ye Olde Inn where people have made European versions of the cards that came in the American expansion, so that you can add additional items to your game that way if you would like to. Just don't expect those cards to be in your copy if you're purchasing one on eBay. Right, let's take a look at the plastic. All of these miniatures will of course be familiar because they are the same as the ones from the core set. As you will remember, in the core set, the enemies are divided into the grey ones, the green ones, and the cream-coloured undead ones. So with this expansion, you get a sprue of the green enemies, which means you get 3 additional FEMA. I absolutely love FEMA. It's always good to have more of them. You will get 8 new orcs. 3 of them will have swords like this. 2 of them will have flails like this. 2 of them will have meat cleavers like this. And of course you will get 1 with the big sword. This is the model that always gets used for special orc characters. So now you can have a couple of special orc characters. You can paint them up in different colour schemes and make them look suitably boss-like. Finally, you get 6 more goblins. You get 2 with the axes, 2 with the notched sabres, and 2 with the pointy swords. So that's it in terms of new plastic in this expansion. You don't get any new characters, you don't get any new enemy types. But it is quite fun that you can now have up to 6 FEMA running around in your battles. You can have huge armies of orcs to throw at your heroes. And the quest book does make good use of those additional models. You do sometimes have massive orc hordes to deal with, and it can be a little bit more intense. I would say that the quests are better than the ones from the core set and more challenging, and the additional enemies that you are going to face is part of that. Next up, you get 2 reinforced doors, and these are cardboard punch-outs that sit in plastic holders the same as the doors from the core set. And it should be noted you do not get the plastic holders. You are supposed to use plastic holders from your core set. Mine are sitting in plastic holders because this particular expansion was gifted to me by my good friend, and when he was 11, he thought it would be a good idea to glue these doors into the plastic holders, so there they will stay. The idea behind these doors is, unlike the core set, missions don't always start with you entering via a spiral staircase. Now you will often enter or exit a particular area of the quest using doors that are on the perimeter of the board, and these doors mark those entry and exit points. Next up, you get 12 of these rockfall tiles. These are pretty much the same as the ones that came in the core set, and if you are buying your expansion unpunched, they will all probably be the same colour, but if you are buying a set where the components have been punched, you may notice that some are different colours. Some of my rock piles are different colours, and that's simply going to be because when these tokens were being sorted out from the base game, some of the tokens are from the expansion, some are from the base game. It doesn't make any difference, it doesn't really matter, but it is something that you may notice if you are buying a punched copy that has been used as part of the core game. It is also worth noting that in the American edition of the game, these rock piles were replaced with wall tokens, but they are functionally the same. You should have 2 more pit trap tiles. Nothing much to say here, they are the same as from the core set. Again, you may notice a little bit of colour variation between the tiles, and that will generally happen if the person that you've purchased your expansion off of mixed their expansion into the core set and then separated it out at a later time. It doesn't matter. There are 2 nifty trapdoor tiles, which are obviously used in specific missions in the Kellar's Keep questbook. There is a rolling rock tile. I am not going to talk too much about this, I do not want to give too much away, but it is from a particularly fun quest, one of the standout moments of this expansion, I would say. Kellar's Keep is of course a former home to dwarves, so a lot of the stuff you will encounter is stuff from when the dwarves were in residence, and that includes this Dwarven Forge. It turns up in specific missions, and then you get this rather intimidating magical darkness tile. Again, this is for a specific mission, and I'm not going to talk too much about what it does. You can find that out for yourself when it happens. The expansion also includes 4 map tiles, and this is one of the most interesting things about the quest for Kellar's Keep. As you work through the narrative, you will gradually accumulate these shattered pieces of a stone tablet, with the intention being that you will eventually be able to put it together. I'm not going to put it together on camera because it does reveal a little map layout, which is a bit of a spoiler for one of the missions at the very end. But it's a fun little thing. It also reminds me a little bit of Advanced HeroQuest, where there were maps that you could collect, but also a shattered amulet that you could put together. And I do like the fact that once you have all of the tokens and you do put them all together, you can make out a little map which will help you when you are traversing the board in the final quest. The final components for this expansion are just window dressing, really. They are ways to make the board look a little bit more thematic. This tile is Grins Crag, and you will place this in a corridor, and it just represents walking along the outside edge of a mountain, teetering over a precipice. And then you also get a bunch of these stairway tiles. You get 2 of them that are 5 squares long, and you get 4 of them that are 3 squares long. And these don't have any in-game purpose, except for there is one particular mission where you are traversing a huge stone spiral staircase, and you will place these in the corridors to give the impression that you are gradually descending deeper into an underground chasm. It's a nice little touch. It doesn't add anything to the game as such. If you do not have all of them, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to miss out on any gameplay features. It's just window dressing. So if you are picking up this expansion on eBay and some of these are missing, it's not the end of the world. And of course, these are very easy to source online and to print out. Ye Olde Inn has all of these tokens readily available for you to download and print out on cards yourself, should you need to. I, of course, like to have as many original components in my HeroQuest stuff as possible, but that option's there as well. And there we have it. That is a complete breakdown of the contents of Kellar's Keep. In the UK at least, this is a relatively easy expansion to find. You should be able to find unpunched and punched copies without too much effort. Of course, the unpunched copies, particularly those that are still in the original box, do command a premium, even more so if they are still shrink wrapped, because I do think that a lot of copies of Kellar's Keep and indeed Return of the Witch Lord were acquired by people who had HeroQuest but who may never have got around to actually using them. Personally, I am very happy, of course, to have this in my collection, and a big thank you to my friend Dale who actually sent this to me. I also have a complete copy of Return of the Witch Lord, which I will be showing in a subsequent video. I guess the only other thing to mention is awesome artwork on the front of this quest book, which of course was repeated on the box cover, and they did actually make that into a jigsaw puzzle. I did see a copy of that jigsaw puzzle on eBay not too long ago, but I missed out on buying it. So I do have half an eye out for one of those in the future as well. But I guess that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.